Hey, I noticed something funny the other day, and it was that if you started dollar cost averaging at the worst time possible with Bitcoin, you would currently be in profit. Now, everyone's talking about, Bitcoin's down a fair bit from its all-time high, right? It's 38% down from its high. Everyone's saying it's quite bearish. No one's very interested in price. There isn't hypey retail speculation. And yeah, like if you look anywhere on the news, it's like Bitcoin is down heaps, it's crashing, whatever. It's a terrible place to be. So keep in mind it is 40% down from its high here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this high this week. It was the 8th of November 21. I'm going to go 8th of the 11th 2021, and we're going to go to today, and I'm going to go Australian dollars and $100 a week, and also account for an exchange fee here. And so, if you started dollar cost averaging $100 a week at the worst time possible, when Bitcoin was at its all-time high, 22 weeks ago, you would have invested 2,200, and you'd be $65 in profit, a 3% gain. Okay, now we'll go to the second worst time possible, which is the 12th of April. But actually, keep in mind, right? So we're at a low right now. So if Bitcoin was to shoot up to its all-time high, that's an extra. You'll be 60%. So you can add another 60% onto this value, right? So it'll be that half again. So it'll be like $3,500-ish that you would have if, just say, Bitcoin were to get to its all-time high in the next few weeks. So keep in mind that Bitcoin's at a low right now, like 40%, half essentially of its all-time high, or 40% of it. So yeah, we'll check the second worst time ever for you to start dollar cost averaging, 12th of April 21, 12th, the 4th, 2021, $100 a week. You'd still be up 4%. You'd have $200 profit. You've been investing for exactly a year. And yeah, you'd have $213 profit. Now, remember again, because you have 0.08 Bitcoin now, so 5.4 thousand AUD. If Bitcoin was to get back to its all-time high, so in the next couple of weeks or couple of months, that 5,000 would be up 50%. So that would be $8,000 total value that you would have. So I know that the $200 is very similar to the profit you would have if you started dollar cost averaging here, but you essentially have twice as much Bitcoin. So when the price goes up from here, you're benefiting twice as much, right? Cool. So even though this is about the same amount, you've got a lot more Bitcoin. So when the price eventually does go up, you get. So what we'll do now, so that's about a year we've done. We'll do 2 years now. So we'll go to, I don't want to do this complete dip here and skew the data. So we'll just go like 27th of April, right? So just under 2 years, 27th of the 4th, 2020. $100 a week. You would have invested 10,200. You would have $21,000, and you would have $11,000 profit. 112% return on 2 years of dollar cost averaging, $100 a week. Now you can see here that if you did invest a lump sum of $10,000, or when Bitcoin was essentially $10,000, you would be up $50,000 profit. But these lump sums, right? So what I'm trying to show you here is that even if you start at the worst fucking time possible, dollar cost averaging works out in the end, right? This isn't financial advice. This is showing you historical data. This is showing you just what happened in the past. I'm not projecting into the future, telling you what to do. I'm showing you historical data. So if you were to do a lump sum investment, right? You would really have to look at, say, like the monthly chart, and look to buy when we're kind of under this band or around this band, right? You wouldn't want to buy when we're extended from it. Otherwise, you can very easily halve your lump sum. So, safest thing to do, dollar cost average. So we'll do one more. We'll go 3 years. So I don't know what was this looking like in April 2019. Oh, a big dip there. So we'll just go again April here. So it's not. So it's about this fair level, right? We're not getting an outlier. So yeah, we'll go 29th of April 19. 29th, sure, 2019. 100 AUD a week. For 3 years, you would have invested $15,000. You'd have 0.81 Bitcoin. It would be worth $50,000. It would be a 230% return on investment. And you'd have $35,000 profit. And look again, this lump sum. If you did 15K 3 years ago, you'd be $120,000 in profit. Okay, but I'm not trying to promote this lump sum thing here. Like, if you are doing a lump sum, you know, you have to look at logarithmic regression. You have to be very smart, have a lot of confidence in Bitcoin, and be confident buying when sentiment is trash. Everyone's trashing it. Everyone thinks it's dead, and everyone's selling, right? So you have to essentially buy fear, and when it's very scary, when things like this are happening, like it's dropping off cliffs, like during COVID. So you have to believe in Bitcoin long term. It's going to be around forever, and you have to have the resolve to buy when everyone is selling, which is very difficult to do. It's easiest to buy in these times, right, when it's been going up for 6 months and everyone's telling everyone it's a great idea. So you can turn this shit off now if you want, but what I will do is maybe look at Ethereum for a quick sec. So here's the chart. If you start dollar cost averaging, worst time for Ethereum, 8th of November 21, 8th of the 11th 2021, and you did $100 AUD every week, including exchange fees. Worst case scenario with Ethereum is you'd have half an Ethereum. You would have invested 2,200 and you'd have 2,350. So 7% gain, $154 profit over 22 weeks. Worst case scenario for Ethereum. So let's go second worst case scenario. If you bought the top of here, 10th of May 21. So if you bought the top of 2021, like lots of people did, but if you started dollar cost averaging then, rather than lump sum investing, we'll see here, right? So if you started dollar cost averaging on that top, you'd have 1.1 Ethereum. You'd be up $700 rather than down $500 if you'd put that $5,000 lump sum in, right? So dollar cost averaging, second worst time ever. You're up 16%. You've outperformed global hedge funds. You've outperformed your fucking financial advisors, ETF, fucking diverse array of bullshit that they put you in and charged you through the arse to manage, right? I'm not a financial advisor, showing you historic evidence, historic data. That's the second worst case scenario for Ethereum. Now we'll just go back 2 years. So we'll go April 2020. We won't do this dip again. I'll just go here. So it's like more like fair value rather than an outlier. So we go 27th of April 20. 27th of the 4th, 2020. $100 a week, AUD. So under 2 years, 102 weekly installments of $100. You invest $10,000, you'd have 10.46 ETH. It'd be worth $50,000 and you'd be $40,000 in profit. Now, the further you go down the risk path, the higher the reward is, but obviously the higher the risk is. I did a video recently on a metaphor explaining the crypto market, and it applies to like risk. So I'd recommend you watching that because you know, there are some stupid risky cryptos, right? And you can apply this to them and it looks like they have great returns, but you also need to check this over um, a very long time frame, right? There's a lot of cryptos from 2017 that aren't around now that have completely shit the bed and don't exist. They're worth zero. There's a lot of cryptos from the hype of last year that was scams that have completely shit the bed. So um, you you know your risk rewards best in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then as you go down, you know, like Solana, um, Luna, um, Avalanche, etc. So like the layer ones. But anyway, look at my video on the on that crypto metaphor. Um, Hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. I'm not saying lump sum invest. If you're going to, you have to be very, very smart. A lot of practice. Have a plan in place. Write down that plan. Stick to it. Because obviously, if you do lump sum at the right time, you know you could have quadrupled that game. But for most people, 99.99% of people, I really do not want to incentivize this lump sum at all, right? Because you do have to know some shit. And you do have to be somewhat professional about it, right? Whereas dollar cost averaging, it's still a 400% return in less than 2 years, and you don't have to know anything. You can set it up automatically, and you don't even have to think about it. You can like use Binance. This can come out of your thing every week. Not financial advice. This is historical data. But literally compare this Bitcoin and Ethereum to what a financial advisor and say ETFs will give you over a year or two. This, like, you don't need to charge yourself fees to automatically set up a $100 a week purchase. Financial advisors will charge you weekly or monthly a fair bit, hundreds and hundreds, probably, you know, $1,000 to $5,000 a year, depending on how much they do for you. And the returns will be, anyway, that'll do. Not a financial advisor. Just do the comparison yourself. Think for yourself. Use this DCA crypto calculator and do some comparisons. See ya.